Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Ethereum and primarily the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. So if you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So we've been talking about the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio for quite a while, and arguably it's the most important crypto pair to track, with Ethereum being the number 2 by market capitalization within the asset class. Now, this chart is not up to date. We'll provide the up-to-date one in a moment, but I just want to walk you guys through what we've discussed in the past in case you're new to the channel and show you how we are very much on course in terms of the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. So this chart shows us the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio since the end of 2015, so when Ethereum first launched, and you can see, and this is very important, that this is a logarithmic scale. Some of the most common comments I see are, why does the price look off? Maybe not as many comments when I'm looking at crypto ratios, but especially when valuing things in USD, a lot of times the logarithmic scale can throw people off. So a reminder, each major tick is 10x. So this is 10 to the minus 3, this is 10 to the minus 2, this is 10 to the minus 1. This dash line up here would be 0.2. So this is 0.1, this would be 0.2, and you guys remember we made it to about 0.15 at the peak of the last market cycle. Now, before we show you what has happened since the last time we published a video on the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio, we have noted before that we tend to see this type of pattern, right? This type of pattern, more or less, where we have a cool-off phase, a accumulation phase, a first peak, second peak, cool-off, accumulation, first peak, second peak, cool-off, accumulation. And one of the things we've noted many times is the idea that the cool-off phase tends to be the next accumulation phase. And you can see that here, right? This cool-off phase became the next accumulation phase. This cool-off phase became the next accumulation phase. And one of the things that I've noted is the idea that we will spend a decent amount of time in this region of the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. So between these Ethereum Bitcoin valuations, just because historically speaking, when we look back at the prior cooldown phase, we recognize that, okay, there's a good chance we're going to be range bound in this regime for a little bit. I don't know how long it will take. The one difference here is that we did not see a major peak and a second peak before this, but we already speculated that this was not going to happen. Remember, we said that the ROI is going to be a lot lower this cycle, and that it's going to be a slower move up. There will be periods of mania, but we're likely not going to see an 1,800% move against Bitcoin in a few weeks like we did during the last market cycle. That's not a bad thing, right? That's just what it likely is, and we need to take advantage of that information. So we also noted that this was our general support band during the bull market. And note that this was takeoff around beginning of 2016. This was when Bitcoin held the 20-week moving average for the first time during the market cycle. In 2017 was when Bitcoin got to its prior all-time high and sustained it, the beginning of 2017, the first quarter. And then it had a first peak in the summer of 2017. It does tend to do well in the first quarter of the year and also in the summer. And then it had a second peak going into the first quarter of the year after Bitcoin hit its all-time high. So, and you can see that that's where we ultimately came back down to. And we speculated, and when we talked about this being the bear market, but we speculated that this would approximate the next bull market right here. And despite the move down recently, which we've continued to say is pretty normal in the fourth quarter of the year, we typically see a bleed of the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. This is business as usual. You can see that if I just toggle between them, you can see that we came straight down to the lower part of this band that we previously identified. And the thing is if we just take a step back and recognize that things are not going to move up monotonically, right? We know things are not going to move up monotonically, which means that they just increase like day after day. There are going to be times of mania, and then there are going to be pullbacks. And the pullbacks can come when Bitcoin is hugging the 20-week moving average, when Bitcoin volatility is really high, and that could include Bitcoin going up or down. What we want for Ethereum to shine is for Bitcoin to just start going sideways for a while. Yes, as we've said before, on any given day, Ethereum can make a nice move against Bitcoin. But in terms of looking at macro shifts in the market, we want to see Bitcoin cool off for a little bit in order for the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio to start moving. And I don't know when that's going to happen. Historically speaking, December tends to be a great time to buy Ethereum with Bitcoin. We identified this trend last year, and this would be the 6th year that we've noticed a potential great, this would be the 2nd year where we have talked about the trend, but the 6th year, if it actually plays out again, it'll be the 6th year in a row. That does not always mean that the best buy of Ethereum with Bitcoin is in December. It just means that historically speaking, it yields a good 90-day ROI. So we'll continue to keep an eye on it. And when we first mentioned this trend a year ago, we said it doesn't have to play out, but it seemed like it set up perfectly in the 4th quarter again. And even this year, a couple months ago, we talked about this upcoming potential swing trade. And the idea that it doesn't have to play out, but if it does, then we just want to be cognizant of that fact. And so far it's playing out because the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio has been bleeding, but also it's been bleeding because Bitcoin tested the 20-week for a while, which we know it's going to bleed, and then Bitcoin volatility has been really high, and therefore it also bleeds in that scenario as well. So again, this is business as usual. We have gone straight to the upper part of this band. By the way, this green band here, I drew all the way back down here. And it's not, I'm not clairvoyant or anything, right? It's just taking a look back and realizing that this period was our prior cool down phase before capitulation, which was also our prior peak over here. So it was our peak. The peak became the next cool down phase from the next cycle, and then this is probably going to be a new reaccumulation phase over here. And this is why I made a video recently calling it the reaccumulation phase of a lifetime. Back over here, we made a video called the accumulation phase of a lifetime over here a few months ago. But now that we've come back down, and at this point, we're just going to wait to see what Bitcoin does. Okay. And I'm not saying that you should hold off on an Ethereum buy. Personally, I'm buying Ethereum even at these levels. The risk level on Ethereum is still low enough for me to continue accumulating, but recognize that it is starting to get overheated a little bit. And so we're just going to want to keep an eye on that. Now, one of the things we talked about before is just measuring the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio by whether Bitcoin is above or below its 20-week moving average. And you can see historically the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio tends to go up during this time, right? It went up here, it went up here, and it went up here. The only time it really didn't go up was earlier in 2019. And the reason is because Bitcoin really didn't move sideways during that major move. Bitcoin went from 3,100 to 1,400 rather quickly, really from like 4,000 to 14,000 rather quickly. Did not give altcoins a chance to catch up. And the reason I didn't give them a chance to catch up was simply because it really never started moving sideways for any long period of time to give people that confidence to go into altcoins. Everyone was just wanting to follow Bitcoin because it kept making moves. This time, despite this recent bleed, the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio has still continued upwards. Okay, it's color-coded red when Bitcoin is above the 20-week. So we're still doing quite well. And all that it's going to take, in my opinion, for this to start moving again is for Bitcoin volatility to just calm down a little bit for a few weeks. And over that time period, we might see a shift back up. If we look at it in terms of the USD valuation, you can see that every time that Bitcoin's above the 20-week, Ethereum does quite well. And it always increases in value in terms of USD. And even here, you can see how nice this trend is. Remember, this is a logarithmic scale, and we're increasing quite nicely on it, okay? So I would say just have patience. Recognize that while it could come sooner, and we would welcome a move sooner, we could very well see Ethereum breaking out over the next few months. It could happen next week. It could happen a month from now. But as long as Bitcoin is this bullish and like 30 to 40% above the 20-week, even in the event of a 10% correction or something, the catalyst for Ethereum is still there. And, there's still a great chance here, I think, that Ethereum can continue to rally. And as we said months ago, this is going to make a $200 Ethereum just be a thing of the past, to be completely honest, if Bitcoin just simply continues this. And so this is very exciting time for everyone. A lot of people who follow this channel know that I'm super bullish on Ethereum, It's my second largest holding after Bitcoin, and it tends to be, by the looks of the data, maybe I'll talk about this in another video for newer subscribers, but it looks to be about one market cycle behind Bitcoin in terms of its volatility. So I will remind you, there is the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com. It's mainly built around data science, using data science to investigate trends in the market, trying to time these momentum shifts between various coins, including the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. So if you guys are interested in it, you can check it out. It comes with a lot of different perks, like the premium videos every week, a premium video every week, newsletter every week, a risk dashboard, which is what I use to trade, private Telegram alerts, private Telegram chat room, and also we recently launched some of the TradingView indicators are being added for premium members. So if you guys want to check it out at intothecryptoverse.com. With that said, make sure you subscribe to the channel, help me get to 50,000 subscribers, and I'll see you next time. Bye.